We're back. If you're new here, my name is DavidColarossiPhD. I'm a licensed psychologist. And for fun, in the evenings, I react to events in pop culture. And over the last year, there's been no event more significant than the drama that is Vanderpump Rules. So I'm excited to get into another season. This will actually be the first season that I've watched all the way through last season. I just watched the last couple of episodes. So I'm a newbie, but I'm excited. Let's get into it.
Three months ago, when Tom blew up our lives, I was not prepared to be kicked out of my house and start a whole new freaking life. So even though we still live under the same roof,
I do not get them living in the same house together for this long. I don't care what the financial situation is. It's wild to me that they go back to the same home. If you're breaking up a 9-year relationship with an affair like that, the idea that you could stomach each other, that Ariana could stomach him in any way is hard for me to fully buy into.
Obviously, my feelings are hurt. I think I've said that enough times to relay the message to Tom.
Is there a world where you and Sandoval could ever be friends again?
Friends? Haven't heard one word from that man.
Yeah.
He's outrageous.
It's hard to react because there's two thoughts. The one is, if you look at the way that James responded to Tom during the reunion, I can imagine that Tom doesn't really feel like James wants to be his buddy. So the idea that Tom has somehow hurt James by not following up and trying to be friends after the reunion is wild to me. I understand that James's feelings are hurt or whatever because of Raquel, although I do feel like he's likely moved on, since he's now living with Allie, but whatever. And I can't help but find James endearing. He's a funny dude.
Sandoval, I get it. You're mad at me, you block me. You hate the podcast, you block shenanigans. But you're gonna go and block Summer Moon?
All right, come on. She attacked him viciously. Everybody attacked him viciously at the reunion. Why would he? Brock is right. This is a weird position for everybody to take where they're upset that Tom hasn't come back to be friends with them. Come on.
I don't know how you could block that adorable face.
Well, you manage the account, so it's not that hard to imagine.
What's the latest we know about Raquel?
Kyle told me that she was in the facility for 45 days and that she then extended for another 30.
So just as a side note, if you're interested, I did react to the interview that Bethany Frankel did. There's a 3-part interview that Bethany Frankel did with Rachel now. So if you're interested, I'll link that here or here, wherever it goes. On a serious note, I am so happy that Rachel didn't join the show this year. I think she should never join the show again. From a clinical standpoint, considering her mental health, I would tell you that I think this really negatively affected her. I don't think that she's ready to be on reality TV. I don't think she ever was ready to be on reality TV. And I think it's disappointing that Bravo was trying to get her to come back. And this whole idea of, you could change your narrative or you could, whatever, make it better, make it right. I think it would have been horrible for her to be in the spotlight any further. So I was genuinely worried about her mental health at the end of the reunion. Anyway, I'll link that somewhere up here.
but now I gotta deal with my own heartbreak.
It was head over heels for me.
I just cry all the time. And I know that part will end.
I am not an expert on the relationship between Lala and Randall. I wasn't watching the show back then, and, it all goes through the filter of Bravo anyway. But I did watch the Randall scandal. I know sort of superficially what happened, and I know that Randall was a massive asshole. Here's what I'll say. Whenever there's a breakup, I think it's very important for both parties to be very quick to take accountability for the pieces of it that are theirs, the pieces of it that are their responsibility. And I think it's very important for both parties to be very discerning about not taking accountability for the pieces of it that aren't their fault. So when I hear Lala say that she's crying all the time or not trusting men, it makes me wonder, is she grieving the loss of the life she thought she was going to have? Is she grieving the distress that Ocean's going to experience, going back and forth between two parents? Is she experiencing whatever, jealousy of Ariana dating? Whatever it is, I think she's right that the grief will pass, the tears will pass as time passes. But I also think it's important to make sure that she's not grieving things that aren't hers to own, right? Like, I wouldn't want her to question her ability to be in a healthy relationship in the future, or question her role in Randall's decision to cheat. Those kinds of things are Randall's to own. They're not Lala's.
Can you dig it? Are you kidding me?
Can you dig it?
This is like citrus pussy.
That's an old fact.
I was harsh in my evaluation of James when watching the reunion. The guy is funny. I give it to you. The guy is funny.
You know, I'm not drinking.
Oh no, I didn't know you were sober again. I thought you were dabbling. Moderation.
No, I've been DJing, like literally just Red Bulls and Fiji water.
I mean, that's what I meant when I said I was critical of him before, is I was critical of his drinking. So good for him. I hope he sticks with it. The way he's talking about it, the California sober thing, I don't know that I wouldn't put my money on it, but I think it's hopefully he's making a good effort.
It's like I wake up, smoke a little bit, drink my coffee, go to the gym, smoke a little more, eat my lunch, smoke a little more.
All right, now I'm less impressed.
I felt like I was doing really well until the affair broke. My brain is just going crazy about, well, if Tom could do this to Ariana, could Brock do this to me? Would Brock do something with Lala?
I get the anxiety, and I don't know enough about Sheena or Brock to comment on their relationship. But here's what I'll say. The way this was positioned, as I understand it, was that Tom and Ariana had a healthy relationship for 9+ years. They sort of grew up together on the show, and they were super close, and yada, yada, yada. I just don't believe that. I think that Tom displays many behaviors that line up with the diagnosis of narcissistic personality disorder. I can't diagnose him. I've not met him. But if you look at his sort of self-interested behavior, the delusions he has of his own impact and grandeur, the lack of empathy and compassion, like all sort of the ruthlessness he showed, all of those kinds of things, it looks clinically significant to me. I don't believe that behavior just revealed itself out of nowhere in this relationship with Raquel. I would imagine that over the course of the 9 years with Ariana, he displayed those behaviors. I don't think the relationship was healthy. I just think that we as an audience didn't see it. So if I were talking to Sheena, I would say, does Brock show those kinds of behaviors? Can you trust Brock? The fact that they got a kid together, I think they're married. I don't think she's at risk for him behaving like Tom. That's my kind of gut reaction.
Out of all of them, Lala is actually the last person that I would expect to have empathy for Raquel, especially after their interaction.
Damn, you guys, you're a yapping chihuahua. You're a Rottweiler, we all know.
I wasn't your best friend.
So I'm actually not surprised that Lala has compassion for Raquel, because I think she has a high sort of social and emotional intelligence. I think compared to others on the show, Lala is better at recognizing the line between the show and real life. I think when she's historically attacked Raquel, especially in the reunion, I felt like Lala was playing the part of the bulldog. I think that's what the fans wanted, and the show did great ratings because of some of her insults. I think it was an act. I think because of what has happened in Lala's personal life, she's also aware of, what it can look like when someone's not good at recognizing the show versus real life. And so I think she saw in Raquel somebody who wasn't good at keeping those two things separate, which is why I was saying that Raquel shouldn't be on reality TV. I don't think that Raquel is able to separate the hate from the fans, her affection for Tom, right, and the show. And so this all sort of got jumbled up for her, and when people were attacking her, I think it felt very, very, very personal. And so I don't know. I just think that Lala has maybe a better ability than others to recognize that someone's actually being hurt versus, let's all gang up on this person because it's good for the ratings. That was a super long explanation. I hope that made sense.
I'd like to have a conversation with you at some point if you're open to that. All right. Oh my God, she saw it.
I don't love that it's being filmed for the show, her reaching out to Raquel, trying to get her to come back on the show. It feels a little bit like Lala's been encouraged to get Raquel back on the show because, Bravo knows the ratings would skyrocket. At least in my mind, there's no reason for Raquel to come back. Like, if we care about her mental health, if Lala cared about her mental health, don't have her come back. Like, don't make this part of the show.
I am feeling like, but I don't want her to wear this for the rest of her life. I sent her a message last night.
You see Katie's eyes? I mean, it's for the show. It's for the show.
Season on Vanderpump Rules.
I have never experienced someone who gets cheated on and suddenly she becomes God.
This is good TV. I mean, they know what they're doing. They know what they're doing, and I'm excited about it. Let me know what you think in the comments below.